Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel guys. Today the focus is on data handling, right? But I'm not going to focus in all aspects of data handling, so my focus is on the interpretation of box and whisker diagram. So that's it, few questions only. I don't want to keep the video long. I just want to keep it short, right? So we're going to be interpreting our box and whisker diagram, right? I won't be showing you how to draw it, but I will only show how to interpret it, right? Okay, looking at this, there is something before we go to an actual equation. I want to show you how are the things looking in a box and whisker plot. How do you interpret it, right? Okay, you'll find the box and whisker plot drawn like this. Oh, we don't call it a box and whisker plot in Meslit. It's a diagram. Somewhere they call it a plot, right? You will find it drawn like this, right? So what does this diagram shows? This diagram shows 5 number summary. Right, what are those 5 number summary? Let me, okay. The 5 number summary that you're going to see here is minimum, quartile 1, quartile 2, and quartile 3, and the last one is maxima. Right, so this is our box and whisker diagram, right? So it shows 5 number summary, right? That is on top here. I just wrote 5 number summary, right? So I want us to talk about percentages. I want us to talk about percentages. Remember this, the diagram that you see here, it have summarized your set of data. Is either your data was given as age of people, or your data was given as percentage marks. You understand? So everything has been summarized, whatever data it was given, as long as they give you this box and whisker diagram. Just know that your data has been summarized. You can see your minimum number, you can see your quartile 1, which is the middle number of your first half. You can see your middle number, you can see your middle number in your second half, then you can see your highest value there, right? Let's talk about these things that I have just talked about the middle numbers there, right? These quartiles, let me actually talk about these quartiles for now, right? Guys, these quartiles, what are they? These quartiles are middle numbers. I'll tell you why they are middle numbers. These quartiles, I simply say they are middle numbers. Why do we say quartiles are middle numbers? Is because we start with quartile number 2, which being our middle number. And what does it do? It divides our data into 2 equal parts, right? Then from there you will have 1 part here, 1 part here. But if there are 4 numbers here, that means there must be 4 numbers here. Then there will be Q2 in the middle. Is that clear? So how do we find Q3? Okay, let's start with Q1. Q1 is going to be the middle number in these 4 numbers. Then Q3 is also going to be a middle number in these 4 numbers on your right. So all of them, wherever you see quartile, just know that this number is a middle number. Understand? Right. Let me remove this information here, because this is not the information that I want to focus on today. Today I want to work with the interpretation, right, in terms of percentages and stuff, right? So let's come back here. Which color can I choose? Okay, let me choose this one. Right, now the Q2, we start with quartile 2. Quartile 2 is our middle number, and what does our middle number do to our data? It divides our data into 2 equal parts, right? It simply divides our data into 2 equal parts. That means quartile 2 is our 50%. Is that clear? So when you look on your left, you will find 50% of your data. When you look on the right, you will see 50% of your data. Is that clear? So let me do this. That means here is what? Is 50% of your data, right? So look at this. What is in the middle in this 50%? This is the middle value here. So this middle value, which is Q1 here, is going to represent your 25%. That means the 50% on your left, this is our left after quartile 2. Right? This is our left after quartile number 2. That means this 50% now, it is divided into 2. So if you check, it's going to be 50%, 25%, then 25%. So all in all, it is 50% in your left. Is that clear? Right. Then let's go to our right now. What must happen? Let me choose another color so that these things, they stay very different. Right. So when you look on your right, you are now left with how many percent? 50%. Now let's look at this between quartile 2 and the maximum number. Which number is in the middle? Is quartile number 3. So look at this. This is our second 50%, right? So I call it that way. So this is our right, isn't it? This is our right. So the 50% in the right now, it is also divided into 2. But now we cannot say this is still 25%. Why? Now we add on top of this 50% here. Now we're going to add the half here that we got. That means from this point to this point, we are having 25%. So we're going to add 50% with 25% to get a 75. Then we'll get 75%. So that means our quartile 3 represent 75% of our data, right? So the maximum represent 100% of our data. Then now someone asks now, how many percent is represented by the minimum? Is 1%. So they start from the minimum is 1, then quartile 1 25%, quartile 2 50%, quartile 3 75%, maximum 100%. Now let's get, I wanna go to the real deal right now. What are these percent? What does this percentages mean? You understand? Let me start with quartile 2 because I like it. You know, everything start at the middle. In your data, everything start in the middle. It doesn't start at the maximum or in the minimum. It start at the middle. For you to get the quartile 2, quartile 1 and quartile 3, you must start in the middle. So I will start by explaining the 50%. Right. I wanna how can I do this one? Okay. Let me use this line on top. Good example. I'm going to use the line on top, this line, the black line here, right? This line, I'm not going to be, my scale is not going to be accurate, but I want you to get a clear meaning, right? These are the marks. These are the marks. No? These are learner's marks. I want to be able to write the small numbers here. But what I'm going to explain is massive. It's indeed massive, you know. So yeah, I cannot stop here. Let me see if I can move. Yeah. Okay. Right. These are learner's marks. I want to be slow as much as I can here. Alright, let me just write the numbers here. Okay, let me say 60%. 60% is represented by this line. Here is 70. Here is 80. And then here is 90. 90 is our highest. 90 is on this point, is our highest, right? And then let me have 40 here. Let me have 20 here. My scale is not accurate. Alright, let me have 5. Okay, it's 6 because now I see now this number it wants to write itself as 6. It's fine. I'm going to leave it at 6. It's an example so you'll understand as I'm doing here. Okay. Right. As you're going to listen, and you listen very carefully here, I don't want you to miss it. If you miss it, just make sure that you scroll back and then you listen again. Right. You look at quartile 2. Then we say in terms of the marks, our middle value here is our middle value is 60. That divide our data into 2 equal parts. Right? Listen to what it means. It means in this test, we have 50% of learners that got 50% of the learners that got less than 60%, and we have 50% of the learners that got 60 marks. You know what I'm saying? So if there are 20 learners in class, it means 10 got below 60 and 10 got above 60. Let me repeat this one. The 60 mark, which is our middle value here, I'm not talking about 60% of what I just want to say 60 marks, né? Right. Quartile 2 is 60 marks. So what does it mean? It means in this class 50%, we look at this quartile 2, remember how many percent is 50%, therefore 50% of the whole class got less than 60%, and again 50% of the class got what? They got more than 60 marks. Let's go to this mark here, which is 30. Where is it? It is representing quartile 1. Ne? So how many percent is quartile 1? Quartile 1 is contributing 25%, right? So listen to what I'm going to say. This 30 marks here. It means in this class 25% of the learners got less than 30, whereas we're gonna say 100 minus this 25. We saw that 25 got less than 30. Then what about the remaining percentage? That means 75% of the learners. 75% of the learners got above 30 marks. So what if the learners they are what if learners are 20? What if we have 20 learners? We're gonna say 20 learners multiply by 75 over 100 to get the real number of learners that got the number of learners that got above 30 multiply by 75 over 100. Therefore, the learners that got above 30 marks, they are 15. Then what about learners that got 30 less than 30 marks? We're gonna say 20 multiply by 25 over 100. So definitely they are 5, I think. 20 multiply by 25 over 100. So they are 5 learners in terms of numbers, but in terms of percentages, we can see that 25% of the learners got less than 30 marks, and 75% of the whole class that wrote the test got above 30 marks. Let's go to this one. Let me explain this one. 80 marks, which is our quartile 3. Clear? Then quartile 3, we can see that it is representing 75% of the data. Are we clear? So what are we going to say about this? We're going to say in this class we have 25%. Okay, let's start with 75. Let me start with 75 because it is the one that is written here. It means 75% of the whole class got less than 8. So it's going to be 100 minus 75. What about the 25 that is remaining? It means the 25%. It means 25% got above 80 marks. This is how we interpret the box and whisker diagram. Right, I want us to go to an actual question now. Right, let me move this one. I want it here, and then okay, right, let me see. Okay, right, here's a question, an example of a question. Right, below is a box and whisker diagram comparing the mathematical literacy exam results in percentage of 2 classes in grade 12. Study the diagram below and answer the question that follows. Right, here you are given the 2 box and whisker diagram. Each box and whisker represent 1 class, right? So look at the scale here. This scale that you see on top here, it simply represents the marks in percentage. Are we clear? So in order to know what is the median, what is the median here, what is the maximum value, you just have to take your ruler and align your middle number here with the number on top, because the numbers are not shown here. They didn't write minimum is this number, quartile 1 is this, quartile 2 is this, quartile 3 is how much, you understand? But the structure of the box and whisker, it doesn't change. It remains like this. It remains like this. This line, the first line, always represent the minimum value. Then the second line represent quartile 1. The middle line represent quartile 2, and then the fourth line represent quartile 3, and the last line, or the last point, it represent the maximum number of that value of that data set, right? So without looking at any question, we can see that how this information is given to us. We can see if we want the minimum value, we know the minimum value is represented by this point. Actually, let me do this. This is the minimum value, and then this is Q1, this is Q2, this is Q3, then this is the maximum value. This is the maximum value, right? So without this question, the examiner doesn't need to name these things. You have to know this diagram, right? Okay, let's jump in the questions, right? I will be writing the answer somewhere around here. I wanted to avoid adding another paper, no, but it's fine. I will see what I do. Let me remove this thing. Okay, let me not remove them. Let me leave them like this, right? First question: what was the highest percentage mark for class A? We have two classes. This box and whisker represent class B. This box and whisker represent class A. Therefore, now we look at this box and whisker. We don't look at this one. So the highest number here, I will just give an example here. Oh, is this one even? Now we look at this. Is this the highest value? Is this the highest value? No, the highest value is only represented by the maximum, of which we know that it is the last point of the box and whisker plot, right? So now what do? Here you need to have a ruler here. You need to have a ruler. Let me see if I can have a ruler here. Okay, we need it here, you know. What am I doing? Okay, yes. Yes, that point can show me very well. You see that, guys? So we can see that our highest value of class A, it was 85%. So you know, guys, that handling actually in Maths Lit, guys, you just have to practice and practice, because you know, I believe that these are 3 marks that everyone has to get this ones, you know. 85%, that was our highest value. Therefore now you just get 2 marks for just checking this point here, to just check this point and compare it against the marks here. Then you get your 2 marks here. You know, you get that 1.2, right? Approximately what percentage of learners in class B scored 80% or less? I'm taking you back now. They say the learners who scored 80%, approximately 80% or less. That means we must go on top here and look at what? 80%. They don't want the learners who scored more than. They don't want the percentage of learners that scored more than 8. They want the ones that got less than. Remember here at 8 here, we have the percentage that is more than, and we have the percentage that is less than. Right, let's go back to our question. You see this thing now, I don't know how. Okay, let me just use this one. What are we looking for? we are looking for 80 yes, 80%. So here is the 80%. Here is the 80%. You know this thing now. Okay, let me just leave it there. But 80%, we can see that the 80% now, it is yes. Yeah, now you see. Now you see. Now I can do what I want now. Right, I got it right. So now, if you can see, now we can see that 80%, here is 80% of the class. Ne? I mean the 80% of the marks. Remember the question says, what percentage of learners? That is what we are concerned about. We want the percentage of learners, not the percentage of the test. Not the percentage of the test, but we need the percentage of learners. Remember, if the learners they were 20, it's 100%. You understand? But out of that 100%, there is a percentage that got less than 80% of the marks, right? So look at this. We said, let me go back so that you can see what I'm talking about. We said, if you look closely, which point is this one? Which point is this one? This is the quartile 2. This is definitely quartile 2, right? So look at this. We go back to quartile number 2. Look at quartile number 2. How many percent? How many percent? It's 50%. You get that? It's 50%, right? So if this quartile 2 is 50%, it means 50% of the class. 50% of the class got less than 80, and 50% got more than 80%. So if you look at 80, it's in the middle. Understand? Therefore now it shows us that now 50% of the whole class got less than 80, and 50% of the whole class got more than 80%. You understand? So it's 50-50, both sides. You understand? So our answer here is going to be 50%. That's what we need. That means this is 50% of the learners. If the learners in class B, they were 20, it means 10 learners got less than 80%. Whereas 10 learners got above 80%. We move on. 1.1.3. Determine the median percentage achieved in class B. Hence I said this data handling, make sure that you get these answers correct, because you know they are simple. You don't need to think hard. You know the answers are just here, especially when we talk about the interpretation of Box and Whisker. The answers are here. Just grab them, grab everything, you know. Now what do we need? We need the median percentage. Remember, everything here, all the numbers that you see here, they are percentages, right? So we need what? The median percentage achieved for class A. That means now we're going to look at class A. Then which point here represent actually the median? It's quartile 2. Inside it's quartile 2. So we can, let me take this and point it, so that when you are writing, make sure that you use a ruler. You use a ruler definitely to see your points, right? So it's quartile 2. So okay, let me. So when you look closely to your quartile 2, we can see that this line is not working for me, so let me leave it. But when you look closely, we can see that this is 77. You understand? This is 1.3. So it's going to be 77% is our middle number in class A, right? Then let's go to 1.1.4, right? Okay, we look at 1.1.4, right? They say calculate the range for class B, right? Simple, guys. When you say calculate the range, don't go to your calculator, guys. Don't press your calculator yet. Relax. Go to your answer sheet and say range is equals to max minus minimum. All right. Right, now look at this. Which class? We look at class B. That means now we need the maximum value in class B minusing the minimum value. Alright? So now when we check here in class B, we can see this is going to be our maximum value and this is going to be our minimum value. Alright, then you do as I say, you take a ruler, you just try to align here, just draw a line going up. You don't start at the scale here, you start at this point going up, you know. So we can see that our max is 93%, right? It's 93% minus, let's go to our minimum. Now we just draw a line starting here and then we go up. Then we get 72%. Therefore now how much is the difference here? I think let me see. I think the answer here is going to be 8 93 minus 21, I think. Yeah. So the answer here we get 21, right? 21. No, you know, guys, I don't know the numbers, you know. I just have to use a calculator, but how to work with them, I think I'm there. But to calculate some numbers, I'm not gifted in that part, right? Therefore now our range is 21%, right? So guys, make sure that you write this formula, because you know in Mathslit these formulas, you'll never get wrong. If you write this formula, you'll never go wrong. If you know that every time, this is what I will advise you to do. If you're writing a test, before you even see these questions, maybe at least try to write these formulas down. Like when you write paper 1 Mathslit, you know that handling is there. So the formulas that they are using, they use range, mean, interquartile range, you know, the formula of calculating the percentage increase, you know. So write those formulas down so that now come to a question that you want this formula. Already the formula, you've written it down. I don't know if you guys are catching me, but you'll catch me, right? So this formula, guys, don't start here. This formula sometimes is awarded 1 mark, so you won't know when is it allocated mark and when it's not allocated mark. So your safe way, always start with the formula. Write the formula, whether the formula was given or the formula was not given. Write your formula down. Start with your formula. Right, let's move on. We go to number 5. Okay, number 5 says determine the interquartile range for class A. All right, simple thing. You go again. How do you determine your interquartile range? Your interquartile range is equals to quartile 3 minus quartile 1. You know, guys, here I like this part. You know, when you look at this, we only have 3 quartiles, guys. 3 quartiles, right? So in those quartiles, we need the range of those quartiles. So look at how you calculate the range. You take the highest number minus the minimum number. So that means in those quartiles we need the highest quartile minusing by the smallest quartile. Here we're not just taking any number, but we take what? The quartiles. Let's identify them. Remember, we're in class B, right? So in class B, our quartile 3 is going to be here. We just throw a line here going up. We can see that now we get 87% minus our, let's look at quartile 1. Here's quartile 1, 73%. Therefore we get, is it 9? I think something like 9. 87 minus 73, 14. Yeah, 14. All right. So our interquartile range is 14%. So you see what helped me? It is the formula. If I can get the formula, all right, substituting is not a problem, and now I just go to my diagrams and then I select those numbers. Now I don't now have to think, is quartile 3 75, is quartile 3 80, I just go there because I know how to get the quartile 3 here, you know how to get the quartile 1 here, so such information is very important, that understand this structure here, that this point represents this point represents this, the structure, guys, and the formula. You'll never go wrong. Okay, let's go to the last one. Is the data in above an example of discrete or continuous data? I wish this question was again saying explain your answer. I like it because it always shows you that the answer that you have selected, indeed you understand what you have selected. So before we'll give you the correct answer here, I just want to clarify something before we go there. You see these two things? Even the question was not structured well, I didn't say this, but because I already know it must be or here, so I didn't see that one. Okay, guys, the only different, and then the only thing that I want you to put in your mind is that this data can be counted, or you can say is countable, and the continuous is the data that can be measured. Then you're done. So now you tell me, these are the marks. These are the marks of learners. So my question is, can these marks be measured? Can you measure your marks? We talk about reality now. This is reality. Can you measure the marks that your teacher gave you? Or did your teacher, the percent that wrote in your script, did the teacher measure those marks? Then now you can tell me that this answer here, it can be continuous now. Because this data that now we say is the data that can be measured. Get what I'm saying? Right. So the correct answer here is going to be discrete data, because the only way to say Mr. Ramshay got 80%, my teacher now will be counting my ticks. My teacher will be counting my ticks. So the moment the data is counted, we know that they are talking about a discrete data. Then you are done. That is the difference between the two, you know, right? And the other thing, guys, when you explain a discrete, never ever talk about this. Don't. When you talk, when they say, is the data above a discrete or continuous, explain your answer. Now, this is how you're going to approach this is how you're going to write your answer. Ne? You say, my data is the data represented is discrete, right? Then you explain the discrete. You don't explain you explain discrete. Never say because the data can't be measured, therefore it's a discrete. No, you will be wrong. You understand? So you must always give your marker no reason to mark you wrong. You understand? Or maybe to try to boost you, because now your teacher now will be saying, but you know, this person is going there, you know, but don't give them that. Just give them straight things, simple. The data represented is discrete because this data can be counted. Or you say this data is continuous because this data can be measured, and then you're done. You're done. All right. By saying that, guys, we came to an end of this video. That's what I just wanted to show you, the interpretation of Box and Whisker 5-number summary. I hope you enjoyed. Just make sure that you subscribe and you like my videos, guys. Thank you. See you soon.